the things that's incredibly unique about Portland is its diversity. I mean, it has so many different neighborhoods, and each neighborhood is really unique in its own way. And when you combine that diversity by the connectivity that the transportation infrastructure brings, you can get anywhere in Portland in 15 minutes. Sometimes less, depending on if you want to bike, it sometimes can take less time than if you drive. And it's that diversity I think people are really find appealing. We've been working with OHSU for years with their master plan, helping them understand how to develop this very hilly topography on top of the landscape to meet their needs. And now that they've begun to outgrow that and start to collaborate with other universities like Oregon State and University of Oregon, they've begun to move down and develop an entire new area down on the waterfront, which is the South Waterfront District. I think the other thing that's interesting about being up here is, we talked about the tram on the way up here, that it is one form of transportation that you don't see a lot in big cities, but one that works particularly well here, given the topography, and connects down to the streetcar, to bikeways, and a lot of other transportation networks that make the city really accessible. So even though you're up on the hill and you're somewhat removed from other areas of the city, you're only removed from the standpoint of a little bit of time on some public transportation, and suddenly you're in an entirely new environment.
So speaking about development, when OHSU start thinking about what's its development over the next 20 years, one thing they've realized about the challenges of being up on the hill and growing as an institution is sometimes institutions can be sort of myopic in their mind. It's all about themselves, it's all about what they do. But being in Portland, they realize that it has to be a live-work condition wherever they go. So it's about sort of the root of building great cities. So as they look down into the South Waterfront down below as a part of their expansion, those places are being viewed as a place where people can live, work, and play. So eventually, the South Waterfront is going to grow and to become another neighborhood. It's a neighborhood for the mind, just not a pantheon of a single entity, which what they have right now.
I think the one thing that's really unique about PSU is that unlike some universities that sit in a suburban or a small town environment, PSU is really serving more than just its students itself. It's serving the city in a much wider standpoint. So they have a lot of programs for children who come onto campus to either participate with early education programs they have, or to take after-school or summer camp classes. You see a lot of urban professionals who are taking advancement classes here at PSU. So the reach for this particular university is very wide, and the connection to the buses and the light rail and all of the streetcars that come through here help that reach be more effective. In any downtown environment, parking is tough. It's no different here. So the more that they've been able to bring in students by other transportation modes, the more they've been able to increase the population and the impact of the campus.
Some universities and from other cities would normally say, we want the light rail or transportation at the edges. And in this case, PSU and PSU Urban Design School embrace the notion of having the streetcar and the buses and the light rail being at the center of where they are, because they truly believe at their core that is the root of being an urban university. So to some degree, it helped them funnel the students in and out and allow the ease of transportation and accessibility.
So you can see behind us, this is one of those areas where the streetcar is actually at the same level as the urban plaza, and people move freely back and forth across that. It does mean when the train comes through that it moves slower, and the train driver is always watching for people moving through. But generally, because this happens so many places in Portland, I think for those of us that live here, we become very accustomed to that movement of the train and anticipate it coming and be prepared for it. So it really works well, and it makes it so much easier to see and use the train. It's easy to get to. It's not as if you have to snake around to a platform or go down into a lower level subway.